Well, good morning, snow fans, and I hope this is working out. Scraping the rust off of my snow church, what would you call it? Procedure list, I guess. Things to get ready for. I've added a microphone, so hopefully my voice, the audio is a whole lot better than it was last season. Hopefully that's all working. I just unboxed it this morning, actually about a half an hour ago. So if not, I'll fiddle with it today and get things ready for you. Anyway, new to this season is going to be a shorter version and then the regular old snow church. I realize that not everybody has 20-30 minutes to listen to me blabber. I get it. You're busy making your millions, or you just don't have the patience. Either way, not today. Today's going to be a plain old long one just so that I can get things figured out and get into my groove. But I believe starting tomorrow, I will have both a short version and a long version. Not sure which one I want to really release first. Probably the short, because I can get that one out of the way and then crank out the long one. But at any rate, stay tuned for that coming on. So what do we got going on? Well, some areas got some snow yesterday. There was an area of low pressure that developed in Texas and moved up through the Lake Superior region. And boy, did that baby bomb out. It did not tap into copious amounts of Gulf moisture, at least, and bring it all the way up north. All the real deep moisture was caught down in the Gulf Coast region, where they had copious thunderstorms and even some severe weather. For the northern part of the storm, where some snows fell, this is greatly underrepresented, I guess you could say, especially here in the western and central UP. I know that here in Jacobsville, we picked up about 6 inches of snow. I do know that it was kind of an odd lake effect event where the best snows... I had to go to Marquette yesterday, and I drove through heavy snow in Launceston-Baraga, and it was lake effect, and both there and back. So I don't know how much they ended up with total, but I was driving home at about, see, what time was it, maybe 4 o'clock or so, and there was a good 6 to 7 inches on the ground, and it was still coming down. I don't know, believe it or not, what areas other areas got, because information is just slow coming in. I think just like me, some of the snow reporters and maybe even National Weather Service guys that sort of compile the data, just kind of, I don't know, slow to the draw. But at any rate, this snowfall here, I believe, was underrepresented. What's going on right now as far as the radar? This is all snow, but none of it is reaching the ground. The air is very dry in all of these areas, and cold too. There's some single-digit temperatures in northwestern Wisconsin this morning. That'll be freezing up those lakes and swamps and anything else that needs to be frozen up so that people can recreate on them this winter. There is a little bit of snow down in these areas too, but not enough to cause great insulation. So these cold temperatures are going to be a good thing for freezing things up. As far as the forecast goes, we can jump to my graphic forecast first. That snow that I showed you on the radar really is not anticipated to amount to much at all, even if it does reach the ground. So I've got a pretty blank map here as far as snowfall goes in the next 24 hours. If you get a little dusting or something up in these areas, don't shoot me. It's just that the flakes manage to saturate the air enough to make it down to the ground. Just like rain can evaporate from the clouds and not reach the ground, especially out west, but even here in the Midwest. Snow will do the same thing. Then, what happens late tomorrow evening into, well, really tomorrow, I'm forgetting the timing for North Dakota and Minnesota, but I do believe it's actually in my writing sometime during the day tomorrow. Snow works into Minnesota and North Dakota, and they could actually see about 1 to 3 inches or so up in those areas. And then as the snow works east and south a little bit, it's going to lighten up. Amounts probably more like around an inch or less in most of this light blue, and then 1 to 2 inches possible in this area that I've got shaded or outlined with the blue line. And then in the solid lighter blue, western UP, pretty good chances for about 1 to 2, maybe 1 to 3. Again, not a big event at all. That system scoots out during the day on Saturday, so we don't have a whole lot of snow to fall on Saturday. Most of this will come actually either before sunrise or end shortly after sunrise. Then the next one starts getting brewing on Sunday, and the models aren't in the best of agreement on things, but neither one of them indicate it to be a major snow event. But the other thing that I can point out is, with the exception of Friday, when we get a push of warmer air out ahead of this snow right here. Remember, most of this is like late Friday night into Saturday wee morning of a Saturday. Out ahead of those snows, we're going to get a southerly flow. Temperatures are going to warm to above freezing in just about all the Midwest. Northwoods, I see it as probably like 36s to 38s in most areas, maybe some low 40s as you get right along the southern edge of the Northwoods. Again, if you've forgotten or you're new with me, my definition of the Northwoods is to go from about St. Cloud to Wausau. Haha. What are you doing to me, my magic board? Brought up an ad. Google's probably going to flag me and say, hey, well, come on, man. There you go. Again, St. Cloud to Wausau to about Alpena, or somewhere between Alpena and Bay City. Maybe Houghton Lake would be the best way to put it. That's my definition of the Northwoods. If yours differs, hey, right on, more power to you. But when I use the definition of Northwoods in my forecasts, this is what I'm talking about. So then, let's get into the period Monday through Thursday of next week. We do have those light snows possible on Monday, 1 to 2 inches. Same thing out here in the western Dakotas. And then by about Wednesday or so, December 7th, a date that will remain in infamy, another little clipper comes across and produces 1 to 4 inches of snow. So, unfortunately, no big snow event seen in the next 8 to probably 10 days or so. Keep in mind, things can change. You know, the Monday system or the Wednesday system. I suppose even the Saturday, but that's getting pretty close to pretty close in on the forecast time. That any of these can change. Hopefully they don't change to where it would be non-snow events, meaning we get rain or something like that. But, they could change. They could spin up to be slightly larger. I don't really see them as spinning up to be a gigantostorm. But, maybe a little bit more than this is I'm indicating right there, if you want to be optimistic about things. And the other good news is in the time frame Monday through Thursday of next week, daytime highs in the Northwoods will be remaining below the freezing mark. So that's a good thing as well. I think probably, I know even up here in the UP, we've still got puddles and we've still got soft ground because, that snow that we got about, I guess it's about 2 weeks ago now, all of that, or most all of that melted, which then just opened the ground right back up. We had near 60-degree temperatures the Saturday after Thanksgiving, so that kept the ground warm. The bottom line is the ground really does still need to freeze up in many areas. So let's get these cold temps in first, freeze things up, and then start dumping the snow on it. If you've seen my seasonal forecast, you know that I'm pretty optimistic about snow in a lot of areas of the Midwest. Keep in mind, it's only December 1st, so we shouldn't have deep snow really anywhere in the Midwest right now. This is the time of the year usually when what we have in the Keweenaw on the ground just gets added to, for the most part. We may have a little bit of a setback, but in more times than not, the ground is white now, December 1st. It's going to stay white through the rest of the season. So let's cross our fingers that ends up being the case. And, as far as riding this weekend or riding right now through the weekend, Keweenaw, no, we just don't have enough. That's not to say that, you'd get arrested for riding the trails, but obviously if gates are still up in some places, don't go around them, even if they are designated snowmobile trails. You do have the Bill Nichols that runs from Mass City up to Houghton, and then the Jack Stevens to Calumet and back down. Those are multi-use trails and are open to snowmobiling all year long, really, if you want to. The Western UP, I know that they got hit pretty hard with some previous storms, so I'm just guessing that their snowpack is better. Call those places, check the webcams. I know some of the webcams aren't back up and in winter form in the Northwoods Cam Network on the site, but have patience. Those cam owners will get their situation going. I'd like to give the folks that took over Nest at Google, the folks at Google who took over Nest, a square kick in the jewels. I am ticked off as heck. As you probably noticed, my Alcam is not working. Well, it was a Nest cam. That died, so I went and got a new one. Well, guess what? Nest was bought out by Google, and Google, in its infinite wisdom, moved everything to control through Nest into Google Home. Well, when you go into Google Home, there is no setting to be able to share that camera image with the rest of the world. Why? Only the brilliant brains at Google know, but hopefully they'll get that situation squared out, because right now I got a Google Nest Cam that is taking some great video, but I'm the only one that can see it. I'm trying to get a workaround going, and hopefully in the next couple of days that workaround will come to fruition. But I guess if you're thinking about getting a cam to share on my site, don't get a Nest. Really, I don't know even what to recommend, because I'm at a loss. If anybody knows a good streaming camera that you can put the live stream out on the internet and make that stream visible to the entire public, please let me know. I'm working with a computer guy up here, but right now he's super busy and doesn't have a lot of time to work with me just this moment. So have patience. The Woods Cam, the Alcam, they will be back. And we just got to be patient. But, if you make a trip to Google, find out who did that, and just I don't know, tell them to look that way and kick them square in the jewels, because I'm just so ticked. And with that happy thought, have a great Thursday, everybody. Keep your sticks on the ice, as good old Nick Lindstrom would, and I will talk at you tomorrow.